What up, everybody? This is Davis Peng, writer for Fantasy Six Pack, with another episode. The Golden Ticket from Fantasy Six Pack, the only best ball podcast that is hosted by Fantasy Six Pack, which is hosted by me, Davis Peng. The most golden tickets on our channel and on our website, which makes sense because I probably enter the most tournaments. I'm about over 500 tournaments at this point in the season. Did over 700 last year. It's good times. This episode, I will be doing a Pitbull draft, which is a $75 draft with a maximum amount of people is 10 max entries, meaning you can only enter a total of 10. Most of the underdog drafts you can do 150, like Puppy 1, Puppy 2, Best Ball Mania, weekly winners. You can do 150 of these drafts. This is one of the limited competition drafts. But before we get started, I'm still waiting for a couple people. So let's go through some of the items that we always do. If you want to, I recommend you guys become an all access members of Fantasy Six Pack. Get access to our award-winning rankings, draft sheets, DFS projections, and betting tools, and other great content on our website. You get access to analysts directly in our Discord. You get custom advice for your leagues. You can ping me personally and say, "Hey, Davis, I am in this best ball draft. I have, 7 hours ago. This is my roster. Who would you take and why?" And then I will sit there, ping me on Discord. I'll ping you right back and be like, "Hey, I would do this. I would do that." And it doesn't get any better than that. If you want to support this, please go there, become all access member. I will tell you right now, if you enter and you do our DFS, you do our betting, you go through me and best ball, you're gonna make your money back. No time flat. All right. With that being said, once again, check us out. Come get that award-winning advice from us. We're let down to one last person to enter this draft. I'm going to narrate my entire draft. This will be live. I'm doing a total of 10 of these. This will be a $750 in total. This is my seventh draft, I want to say, and I have 3 more to go. Yeah, we're going to kick this off. So, restating again, I'm doing a Pitbull draft. This one's pretty fun. If you've never done Best Ball Mania, all that stuff, I would say go check us out. You can actually sign up with our code SIXPACK, and that gets you a bonus when you enter. If you're new to best ball, this is probably not the tournament I would recommend to you. It's $75. It's a lot of money. There's a lot to learn when you come to this. I have a couple episodes that you could check out on how to do this. I did a Best Ball Mania draft, the last one. I also do a lot of rankings. I also did a lot of my beginner's guide. Check that out before you enter one of these. This one's filled up extremely fast. On the contest, we're about 50% already, which is crazy. That means that 3,700 people have already contributed $75 a pop. This is a very top-heavy tournament for winning. But before we get started, the group has filled. I am 106. Actually, not that bad to be 106. Some people may not like that part of the draft. I actually enjoy it quite a bit. 106 is a pretty fun place to be at because you can kind of catch a lot of falling value. And right now, with Cooper Kupp's injury concerns, he's actually been slipping quite a bit. And that was the ones I asked you at the bat. Are you scared of Cooper Kupp's injury? And I'll tell you straight up that I kind of am. The guy's heading into later in his years. He's almost 30. He's had not the greatest bill of health. Doesn't make him any less of a great talent, but I'll be honest. I'm trying to do this, and I'm trying to make sure I advance. I want less risk, and I want ups, and I want to have the upside that matters. So even if I get 8 great weeks, 10 great weeks of Kupp, and he doesn't finish the season, this is just going to be all for naught. I had a lot of teams get decimated because I had Cooper Kupp and it just didn't get far. All right, so he's going as chalk as possible. We got 2, 3, 4, 5 red badges here, 6, 7, 8 red badges. That means there's a lot of people who draft them. I actually recognize some of these names. If you haven't catch my last episode, I talk about what I look in for when I go to my drafts. I look at the badges and see names. So Tim Seven Roberts, good player. TB Bucks 02, another guy that follows me on Twitter, good player too. Drafts quite a bit. Bond Trader Lurch, don't necessarily know them. GD, I recognize that name too. Quite a lot of people. So maybe it tells you highly experienced. It's all that little fun jazz. So. All right, this is the part. So he took Kupp at 3, which just leaves me the question of I don't have to worry about it. I've been taking a lot of CeeDee Lamb. I like CeeDee Lamb here, but I'm going to go with the Bijan. I think I need to find situations where I'm getting more elite running back. Right now, there's a lot of wide receivers that are going kind of early. And there's such a thing as wide receiver avalanche. Once you start following a lot of content, you'll see that everyone's grabbing a lot of receivers. At this point, I've been 102 3 times already. I have a couple of other 105s where I'm grabbing a lot of receivers. I want to mix it up. I want to grab some Bijan. I want Bijan in the finals this year. I think that he's going to be very strong behind a strong O line. So let's grab a running back and let's see what comes back to us. Like I said, I'm in the middle part of the draft. And the first thing I'm considering after I take Bijan is what comes back to me round 2, round 3, round 4, 1, 5, right? If I took in Elkler, who I think loses some of his receiving upside this year, might lose some of his touchdowns, I kind of want these other guys that have that upside. I think Bijan might have touchdown upside. AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs. I have a lot of teams with these guys. I want to kind of push down. So getting back to what I was saying earlier, let's move to round 2. So in round 2, I will get my next pick at about 19. So let's assume that pick 19, everything goes as is. I've shot to Olave. I've shot to Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, wide receivers I'd be looking at. If I wanted to push it heavier RB, I could get Derrick Henry here, who I actually would enjoy grabbing, maybe Pollard too. Off on JT until the news gets better. It's just you gotta go with the information you know. And then pick 30. So this pick 30 is actually my least favorite pick in the draft. I hate these middle round guys. I think Amari Cooper's fine. I'm turning a corner a little bit on Debo. Still not a fan of the 49ers situation. Mark Andrews is a little pricey for a tight end who I think you can match his value with like TJ Hawkinson and Goddard, and maybe at least TJ Hawkinson and Kittle for sure, and then maybe Goddard down the road at 2 rounds later. So I know that at pick 30 it's come back to me, but I'm very interested in pick 43. Very interested in pick 44 because 43 means I have a shot at Drake London, Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore. These guys I really love. These guys could easily be round 3 guys. I'm getting them here. So a lot of my draft is going to bank on those guys coming back to me. So where am I at? Oh, I got Waddle, Saquon. It's a tough call. I'm going to go. Just go with double receivers. Take Saquon. I'm going to do double RB. I'm going to make a nice little special here. Double RB. We're going to see what receivers that come back to me. I'm going to hope that it's probably Cooper, Judy, Drake, McLaurin, DJ Moore, who I think is very undervalued. Actually working on an article right now about him. Probably be released after this video is already done and shot out, but so you'll get a heads up before the article hits. I think DJ Moore's that, like, look at this tier drop here, right? Like Mike Williams, I think is a little overrated right now, given the lack of games he plays, given that he's got competition at QJ, competition at Keenan Allen, competition at Eckler, competition ever. Like, this is not a fun pick. DJ Moore's competition is non-existent. He's Christian Kirk of last year, but with more talent. And his drop off, he goes like against Darnell Mooney, who's probably the best talent after him. And then like Komet and like Claypool, it's not really a thing to me. DJ Moore can be the Diggs of his team, like the Buffalo Bills jump up. It could be, Christian Kirk of last year, but with like way more upside. He's a huge tier jump for Justin Fields. So you get DJ Moore, and then you get the rest of these guys who I don't think are in any form category to DJ Moore. These guys are all together, and like this makes sense, but this isn't like it's just a huge gap. So I'm gonna just be sitting there to get that. And then you got Mike Evans, who I'll probably get in the later round. So when I try to push double elite RB, I don't think this is the most popular build these days, but you got to zig when everyone's zagging these, and you got to try out some of these builds. $75, and then you want to get a little bit confident, right? I got 2 guys who are going to be workhorse players. We'll see how far I get. If any value comes back to me, though, right? Let's say I get lucky and, maybe I get like a 2-round fall on like Najee or something. I'll grab those guys, but auto drafting. Maybe, no. This looked like an auto pick, though. Kind of annoying. I hate auto drafts in my teams because a lot of these values don't come back to you. People don't get to make the mistakes. They just kind of get defaulted. So Tim, what's he grabbing? Good player. Tim Roberts actually did really well for the last few years. Player I would be watching in my drafts. So he's double receiver. Then he goes Jacobs. Opinion on Jacobs this year. I think he's someone that's thought too highly of, in my opinion. I don't think he's as good as we give him, as everyone thinks he is. This year, I've always been a Josh Jacobs guy when he was at like round 3, 4 in the past. This year, not so much. So I got Cooper, Judy. I'm gonna grab myself a I'm gonna grab myself a Cooper and we'll see if Judy comes back. I have to play the ADP a little bit. I actually have a shot at Judy at 43. If he doesn't come back, not a big deal. Like I said, I really want to start grabbing these like Drake Londas and DJ Moores and hope that some of these guys slip back. Some of these people will start getting desperate for RB. I think the odds of it are kind of slim, but they might get desperate at RB. So sorry, back to what I was saying earlier. I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna look at my next set of picks. You need to know where your ADPs are. So pick 43s, 54, 67, which tells me I line up a lot here. I really like Gabe Davis. Really like, obviously, Tyler Lockett, Mike Evans. Don't like Pittman. I think he's a low upside player. Addison's kind of a low upside player, in my opinion. He might be the third target on this team, which is not as good to me as Gabe Davis and Jahan Dotson, who are likely could be big touchdown players. Let's go. I think this clock is just slow. What's going on? It's going straight to 15 seconds. Maybe it's just speeding up really hard. A lot of running backs right now are not being loved. Brees Hall with the unknown of Dalvin Cook. Jahmyr Gibbs getting that steam up, but at the same time, obviously, people want the receivers over him, which understandable. I'm not going to sit here and tell you otherwise. Christian Watson goes. It's another player I've been seeing slip a lot. A lot of the Justin Jefferson drafters in the 101 are excited when you see Watson slip to 49, which I've seen a few times, and it kind of blows my mind. So I'm going to be in the situation where I got to figure out, do I want to scoop value here with Keenan Allen and Najee? It's possible that either of these two guys come back. Odds are slim because obviously the more your ADPs go, you start to see people like staring at it. Go, I'm getting 5 pick value. I'm getting 7 pick value. Like, oh my God, I'm going to get these guys. So I'm just, odds are slimmer, but nice to see. Crazy reach up right here by Bond Trader. Training Brandon Ayuk at 39. I actually just pushed an article about him today. Should come out soon. You guys will see why I'm just not a big fan of him. But just for verbal communication wise, just think he's just priced up way too much. I'll go to after the pick. So I have 2 RBs, 1 wide receiver. If I grab a third RB here, I think getting an efficiency guy like Gibbs is really strong here because I already have 2 like workhorses. I can grab Najee, and this would be an automatic like 4 RB team. But I do need to double down as a receivers. My next pick's not the 54. If I don't grab a receiver here, I'm pretty much stung. So I'm gonna grab DJ Moore. Not something I wanted to do, but oh no, I did start him already. Cool. So DJ Moore. Some people say, why are you reaching a little bit for him? Why didn't you grab the value? Gibbs, Najee, Travis. Honestly, really liked all 3 of those picks if I didn't have these 2 RBs. But I want to get that week 17 correlation here. Chicago versus Atlanta. My team does need wide receivers. Kind of put myself in a hole here. Obviously, I could not predict that some of these guys would get drafted, right? I can't predict like what everyone else is going to do. But what I can do is at least predict the ADP range of some of these guys. Some great value for these people. Najee here, Gibbs here. Like if I'm this person, I'm happy. If I'm him with a Najee here and I got CMC, Jalen Waddle, and like Josh Allen, I'd be pretty happy because I just got salvaged from an RB I probably wouldn't have gotten back. Most drafts, you would have got stuck with these random receivers that some guys don't value too high, like Hopkins, Mike Dubs. Mike Dubs I don't value too high, but kind of interesting. Jamar Chase manager takes Joe Burrow, pretty standard. The only difference here is he took Kid Ridley at 23 instead of getting the T Higgins stack, which joked about on the tweet today that like they're just so common. Everyone does that Jamar Chase, T Higgins, Jamar Chase, T Higgins, Joe Burrow combo. It's very much like one of the chalkiest stacks you can see this year. Herbert manager, good pick. I actually like this a lot. I may not be a Mike Dubs guy, but if you're going to take him and you're going to get Herbert, this is one of those times I would say, hey, that's not a reach. It's a good play. I'm going to pan out myself for DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk. Deontay Johnson could be a good pick here. He's obviously a 1 on his team. I think a little expensive, though, at times. Possibly low touchdown upside. I'm up in 3 picks. I could get Fields to stack with my Moore. Probably not going to do that, though. I really want to drag Really like Hawkinson here. I probably prefer Hawkinson over this. I think getting an elite tight end is like very strong in these drafts. And like I said, I'm in the middle. So there's a chance value comes back to me in that 67 hole. So we'll see. I really like to balance out, get some elites going. And like I said, I find value in these like later receivers more than some other guys do. Like people see Mike Evans and go like, I think he can still produce. Gabe Davis, I have a shot at. John Dotson would be really fun to have. Quentin Johnson. I could have gone 3RB if I take a Najee, but I might be able to get that same way with James Conner. Anyways, it's all relatively the same to me. Please don't time out for Hawk. Does he? No, it doesn't. All right, take Godwin. Oh, it's a good play. I like that. Godwin, someone's like a little underrated too, but I'm going to grab myself a Hawk. TJ Hawkinson. This sets me up later too. Like I said, I have elites. And if you haven't had the chance, I would say catch Mike Leone's Best Ball Manifesto. We're talking about putting the ADB buckets in the running backs. Taking these two and just dumping to like Connor or dumping all the way till like AJ Dillon is probably the play I would like to do, or be Brian Robinson. And if I get AJ Dillon, TJ Hawkinson, I have that week 17 correlation. Aaron Jones might have all the value up front this year. If I, based on the article I wrote, like, hey, I believe that AJ Dillon is just this guy that's going to slowly push forward. I think he's going to be the guy this year, or at least for the red zone. So, he gets 60 yards and like 2 touchdowns. It's not a unreasonable situation for AJ Dillon. Receptions are going to go down a lot for Aaron Jones this year. So I think that like maybe I save myself open to that. So I'm considering all avenues. So Hawkinson at 54, hoping to get some value on my third, fourth running back. I don't need to plummet into the third one. Like I don't need to push into these guys here because I took these two. If I do this, this really shapes my team to being like a 4 RB team. I don't want to overspend, and I am behind a wide receiver. Like I don't consider Amari Cooper, DJ Moore equal to someone that has like Devontae Smith, Tyreek Hill, or something. I don't consider that the same. So I do need to play catch up here. Probably finishing on the top 3 tight end though, so I'm happy about that. All right, so touch on a little earlier, but we're talking about the Pitbull. What's different about the Pitbull versus Best Ball Mania? What's the Pitbull difference from Puppy? So Pitbull is a small tournament. It's only 7,500 players. It's pseudo high stakes. I wouldn't say it's high stakes. Some people call it mid stakes, and call it whatever. But we know $75 is a lot of money. But it's a lot different than a $5 draft and a $75. Oh man, this Gabe Davis reach, that's huge. That's gonna crush what I was gonna do. Trevor Lawrence, Evans, Pittman. This changes a lot. I'm gonna grab Pierce. Yeah, I'm gonna grab Pierce here. And then probably suit myself up for Dotson and QJ. Yeah, I think that's the play. And then I got shots at Brandon Cooks, Traylon Burks, Rashad Bateman, it's Michael Thomas, Rashad Bateman, Courtland Sutton. It's gonna be a really tough. I put myself in a 4 RB hole. This is a 4 RB team. Like, there's nothing I do here. 3 quarterbacks most likely, 4 RB, 8 wide receiver, 3 tight ends. And I guess someone's gonna ask me like, "Wait, Davis, why would you take 3 tight ends when you have TJ Hawkinson?" Outside of Travis Kelce, I don't think any tight end is safe, like at all. The only reason I maybe would go to here if I end up like Pat Freiermuth as my second. So like that like above middle tier. That's what I consider it. So anyways, back to the Pitbull conversation. So the big difference is the Pitbull is $120,000 up top. It's a 25-man finals. You have 10 teams to make a finals, and it's 2 advance. So it's not like the high stakes where it's Dalmatian is 4, Mastiff is top 4 advance. So those are all top 4 advancements. This is top 2. So it does change up a lot of things. Therefore, if I am drafting these, I can't draft this with guys like Jameson Williams in mind half the time where I'm losing points. I could have done Jameson Williams on a 4 receiver team where if I was already 4 receivers deep. I go, okay, I grab Jameson Williams because I already have 4 or 5 studs. In this case where I only have 2 guys, like Jameson Williams would like crush my team and crush my ability to get wide receiver points in the first 6 weeks plus not including his bye. So I'm playing a lot for flex RBs here. So with Dalmatian, with the Mastiff, the Bulldogs, where you have top 4 advancements, you're allowed to take some interesting risks to change your outcome for the finishes. So boom, great. Could be really interesting to take double elite tight end here, but I do need a receiver badly. So I'm gonna take Dallas as Brandon Cooks. Oh, that's funny. Mark Cooper and Brandon Cooks. The replacements on the same team. And I know some people were gonna say like that's why is it that much different? Because 2 less advancement places changes a lot. And this is a small finals. So advancing out of round 1 is very, very important. It's going to be 50% hard. It's going to be 50% harder, or I guess 100%, 50% harder than a general just to get that next round. So you have to get to your next rounds. You have to advance. And, it's 1 in 6. You're talking about 16% of people are advancing out of every draft. And I want to be above that. Last year I was about 25 to 30%. This time around, we'll see if I can keep up with it. If I can get 30%, I can get at least 3 to 4 teams out of round 1. Then I'm sitting really pretty for the next 2 rounds. But round 2 is going to be top 2 advance. Round 3 is 1 advance, and you could be dead in the water there. Most guys are dead in the water. Average consensus would say if you have 10 drafts, you're very, very likely just going to have 1 team make it to the finals. Right? Very rare, one best shot, you have 1. But more likely so you'll have 0. You're talking about 7,500 teams, only 25 making it. So your odds are stupidly slim. You gotta max these, and if you max this, you cannot just be like, well, I'm gonna take some riskier buys here and take Jameson Williams, Alvin Kamara. Like, you can't just leave points on the board unless your team is built for it. This team might be built for an Alvin Kamara build if I was like really sold on him. This team could be on the board for like Jameson Williams if I had a bunch of receivers, right? Like, that's the concept. This is not it though. Like, I'm not picking a J-Dubs here. This guy's picked up AK as I said it. This is an AK team. This is an Alvin Kamara type team. Totally fine with that. I would do that for this. Man, James Conner's slipping. If I take Connor here, I'm probably gonna have a very hard time playing catch up receiver. So, man, that's a huge fall. 11 pick fall. He's taking him. There's no way this person doesn't take pick 90, 89 James Conner. That'd be insane. Just give him all the value. Damn. Going back in time, I wish I would have known, right? Let's see. 5 receivers up top. JSN, Keenan Allen, Tebow, going to. Yep, there we go. All right, cool. Won't feel so bad. This is going to hurt, though. I think having Aaron Jones as your RB1. I mean, 13 pick value, though. Like, I can't hate that. It's just going to hurt when it gets to it. I'll take MT. I'm very much in on Michael Thomas this year. A lot of receivers got reached on. Kind of threw me off a little bit this time. Going to sting a little bit. I was hoping to get some guys to come back, but they did not. Treylon Burks is someone I would have really loved to come back. All right, getting back to it. So I'm taking a lot less risk. I have to figure out my build is. This is automatically a 4RB build. If I take a 5th, I have to really catch value at these wide receivers, which I don't think I'm gonna get. I don't think I'm gonna get good value at all. Like, I don't think this is a very wide receiver heavy room. This guy is 115, 224 already, 125. I should have expected that from him. 0251. They're gonna have to slow down at some point, but at the end of the day, it means these other guys like myself, where we not only have 3 wide receivers, I have to expect them to want to play catch up. So I just don't expect any value coming back to me. So let's see where am I at. 97, 98. So I'm back at the 102. Wide receivers I'd be targeting here: Rashad Bateman, could get Tyler Boyd. Probably want to allow Alan Lazard since I do have Cleveland. I kind of want the Alan Lazard pick with my Jets. I think also Alan Lazard just has a really good good upside where he can just randomly be like a 5 for 60 and a touchdown. It won't be like league winning, but it's going to get him on the board, which when I have better RBs than my receivers, I just want 3 guys on the board at all times. So I got to get these, like, does he get points type of players. There's a shot I give Rashad Bateman. That'd be interesting. Because Rashad Bateman's very much on the injury prone side, but his upside is like a lot better than a lot of other players. Trevor Lawrence, no, he took him. So this guy here has Trevor Lawrence. Yep, Tim has Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Josh Jacobs, Jameer, 4 receivers up board, 5. He just took Bateman. Good value on his part. 2 stacks. He kind of forced stacks. I don't think he had to. I personally wouldn't have done that. So I'm going to get Lazard here. I know some people are going to be in on Boyd, but I want to get Lazard. Aaron Rodgers had good camp news coming out. He's playing at a high level. I want to stack up this game. I could probably even grab Njoku on the comeback, which I think would set me up for 2 tight end, like straight out easy. And no one's going to reach on Rodgers. A lot of guys have 1 quarterback already. I'm already paying attention to that. Me and this one other player are like the only people that don't have quarterbacks, me and Vadim. So I don't have to worry about someone trying to double QB it up. Like most guys have 1 and 2. It's like if you're reaching out to grab yourself your second quarterback and you have, like Patrick Mahomes, like you just like all you did was shoot Patrick Mahomes in the foot. I don't think there's no reason for that. And I think if you haven't caught my article or my video, I would say catch the video for best ball strategies there. I did a whole video about like the replacement points and how Joe Burrow and like Patrick Mahomes comparisons and putting them on the same team or what that actually does for you. It just didn't do a ton. So I have 5 receivers. I still need some upside guy. Let's see, 11, 13, 7. Brian Robinson would be a fun pick here. Not because I think he's going to give me a ton, but he covers the holes on any bye weeks. We do know he's a 20-touch guy, 15 touches, up the gut type of player. Has random touchdown upside. But the bye week, this means that even on all my bye weeks, I'm going to get 3 RBs playing for spots. Most of the time I have 4, but I'll have 3 in those. And then on the other side of it, I still have shots at, Aaron Rodgers here coming up too. So I'm not really losing a ton. I have shots at it. Joke got taken. Oh, Wales. But yeah, I think like Robinson would have been a fun pick here for me. Obviously, these guys are catching up at running back now. They're playing the 80s buckets a lot more. He's a TB Bucks is actually a really good player, so he knows what he's doing. So he took Eckler, probably took Njoku. Yeah, sorry. He took Watson. I'm pretty sure he took Njoku. Smart play on his part. So I ain't got to figure out what I'm doing. I'm probably going to get a little interesting here. I'm probably going to grab Kirk, grab Rodgers, double QB. This might be a 2 quarterback team. I could really balance this team out and be like a 2-4 9-3, which is generally my least favorite thing to do is get double up on 9 receivers. But this team might actually benefit from having 9 receivers. So while we're in this little intermission part of drafts, let's talk about decisions for drafts, right? What am I doing? What am I deciding? How's this build? So there's a couple things that you need to know. 2 quarterback builds are really strong to advance in regular season, but 3 quarterback builds are very strong in playoffs. So I have to weigh it out. Do I just want to advance out of regular season, get past week 1, and hope to God that Kirk Cousins and Rodgers does really well for the next set of weeks, which is very, very plausible, right? We talked about this. Like it's very plausible that Aaron Rodgers just has that great season. Like he's getting good camp, could go off. He has a better receiving core, better everything, right? Even has his old head offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. I know we make fun of Nathaniel Hackett from his time in the Broncos, but Aaron Rodgers trusts him. So I go 2 quarterback, have a good regular season push where the average set of points balances me and I get to round 2. But what do I do when I get to round 2? Do I want to advance more? If I want to advance more, a 3rd quarterback helps a ton here. So options I could take are like the Matthew Staffords, the Jared Goffs, the Russell Wilson, the Derek Carrs, right? Derek Carr stacks with my Michael Thomas. I could go that route. It probably would hurt my regular season advancement. And it's not like the ability of what Derek Carr adds to. Why would this guy take? Oh, okay. This guy ruined my Aaron Rodgers, but that's fine. That doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna just call it out. This team is terrible. Like you're taking Fields to Rodgers, 3 receivers. Yeah, this is gross. People have to pay the rate. Someone has to pay the little stuff on this. But that being said, like I have to figure out what I want to do, and I could have easily have decided that part. But yeah, this is a 2 quarterback team. So at this point, I might just push it. So we're gonna grab Dulcich. I'm gonna grab Dulcich and play for Russ. I'm gonna play for Russ. This still has a shot at 2 quarterback team. I did kick Kirk. This is definitely most likely going to be a 2 tight end team. I could make this a 2, 4, 10, 2. But like I said before, the reason we want to decide what our quarterback numbers are, we want to decide what our tight end numbers are is because they have different advancement levels. So playoff advancements best are 3 quarterback, 3 tight end. Anytime you go less than those, you're dropping your advancement rate in playoffs. So round 2, which is week 15, round 3, which is week 16. Every time you're not drafting those third receivers, or even third tight ends or the third quarterback, and even in some cases your second, because some people do run out solo quarterbacks, your advancement actually plummets because of many reasons. One, your diminishing return on a wide receiver just becomes just junk after 8. It's very rare that your 9th and 10th receiver really benefit you, especially if you're very top heavy. If you're at a top taking 5 receivers by pick 70 and you added 4 more, like those 4 more guys have to do a lot of work to be relevant. And in this case, I actually could use more receivers because I was actually very mid to bottom heavy on wide receivers. I don't have great wide receivers on this team. So that actually would benefit me to do that. Oh, I hit the screen low too. My bad, guys. My bad on that one. But like, actually would benefit me there. Jared Goff goes. Mingo. Interesting. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do here. I could skip Russ, grab a receiver, and grab Carr down the road. That actually could be a good play, but I'm getting Russ value here, so this actually might not be bad. I have Russ rather high. So Russ and Carr are like 2 of my guys. I just have buttloads of them in my drafts. So my goal is probably to take a Russ here, maybe get Osborne on the comeback and get Mims, which could be a tough ask because my picks are going to be spread out a little bit. Let's see where Mims is at 155. Oh, she's at 155. It's at 153. So my shot of getting both these guys are going to be zilch. I could probably get Russ and then on the comeback get Mims. People don't like Osborne too, so that's actually very beneficial to me that I could get one of those guys. So let me grab Russ. If Teddy doesn't do this here, if he grabs Russ, I'm going to pivot to basically ugly quarterbacks go 3. Ugly 3 QB. Here we go. Come on. All right, I get Russ. So we're going Russ here. I'm going to go KJ Osborne into Mims on my next set of picks. I have 2 tight ends. I could, once again, either go 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends. I could do both. I have 3 RBs. This team could easily just be a mid-4 RB team. I have shots at a couple guys I like. I can't grab Singletary because I have Damian, unless I'm handcuffing myself. I have shots at Foreman. I have shots at Kenneth Gainwell, Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert, Gus. A lot of running backs did go rather fast. A lot of guys had to play catch up. A lot of people who went 0 RBs or on the weaker side. So I can't really grab those, but I can always grab Foreman down the road. So I have plenty of good upside and good shots here. All right. So I'm still deciding if that's the case. Worst case, it's a 3-4-8-3 team. It gives me good advancement on every category but running backs. But if I have 4, it's fine. The 9th receiver could be very beneficial. I did spend a lot of capital on tight end. This is most likely going to be a 3 quarterback team, though. Anytime I go less than this, it's actually going to sting quite a bit. But we're going to see if we get, if I get some Van Jeff, that'd be insane. I get Van Jeff here on the slip. I could add Jalen Hyatt for that week 17. Plus, I already have Saquon, so Van Jeff makes a lot of sense here. Could take Tyler Higbee here for that little correlation. Very, very much a volume play. There goes Van Jeff. This guy has Cooper Kupp, Van Jeff. This team is fine. I do think his quarterback was like a misplay. That makes no sense to take Rodgers there. Unless he's going to double tap like Michael Hardman, Corey Davis at the end. That kind of made more sense. All right. He takes Higbee, not a big deal. I could take Osborne. I could take MVS. Get an upside guy. I'll play KJ Osborne. I'm going to take Osborne here. I'm going to play for Derek Carr and Cole Kmet to come back. Odds are it's obviously slim. I have Matthew Stafford to possibly come back. Taysom Hill is in line play, right? Very, very strong upside tight end. I need a tight end that can beat these other 2 whenever he does contribute. Like Taysom Hill's either like a 15-point guy or a 0-pointer, but the points he gets when he gets 15, he's probably going to win me that playoff week. So these are all going to be playoff guys at this point. So 3. This could be a 2 quarterback team. This could be a 2 tight end team. This is definitely going to be a 4 RB team. No reason to get a 5th unless I'm like really banking or I have knowledge on somebody that I think is very underrated. I'm probably going Gus for this one. Gus makes the most sense. Jeff Wilson's another guy I would consider here. I don't think there's many other guys that I would consider to take space up on top. So, kind of my correlated games right now. If you guys need to follow up on this, it's Minnesota stacked together, right? Got the triple stack. I got Jets versus Cleveland week 17. I got, DJ Moore, the Bears versus Atlanta. Could have gotten the other two, but I obviously did not. And then I got Denver. I still have shots at, I think Everett was still on board. No, actually he's gone by now. But those are my main correlations, but I have Denver stacked together at the very least. And then still have shot at maybe wanting to grab some correlation down the road. I could grab more Matt Collins. We'll see, though. If I get Derek Carr on a fall, this would be – no, this guy's going to grab it. TP's going to grab it. There's no way he doesn't. Only ways he wouldn't grab is because he doesn't have any Tampa. Yeah, he doesn't have any Tampa. And he has Deshaun. He must be really high in Deshaun because you could either grab Stafford on the comeback, too, and that would work out. Him with Rodgers would have made a lot of sense, though. I actually would like TB to have grabbed Rodgers. It would have made more sense for his Garrett Wilson. And he has Deshaun. So, like, those guys would have played actually well. So, I think him losing out to the other guy kind of screwed him, too. Take Derek Carr. He'd pick it. I get Jalen Hyatt. I'm going to grab Hyatt. I'm going to reach for Hyatt. I think he's been rising up ranks really hard. I don't think I have a shot at that or something. I don't grab him now. Oh, I could grab DPJ. Double Cleveland. You know what? We're going to skip this. We're going to grab DPJ. I need the receivers. This team needs receivers. I am going to let the value fall. Worst case, I just play 2 quarterback, 3 tight ends, and try to increase my advancement there. Or just get value. You know, playing chicken with some of these other guys that already have 2 quarterbacks. Tim Roberts reaches pretty oof, that's rough. Double reach on his running backs. And this is kind of that rough space where you're paying for RBs. Got 7 picks away. I still have shots at Derek Carr, Stafford. I have shots at Hyatt. And even Howell, like, I don't really have the pieces to make Howell work straight out, but, you know, the idea is that Howell becomes a running quarterback, which is very plausible. He was a runner in college, very mobile. So, and he's going to year 2 extension plays. I could get a Howell just as a one-off. It doesn't have to be correlated because I know what Derek Carr is deep down. Like, he's not a runner. He's not mobile. He's not ever going to steal touchdowns on the ground. So I might as well grab someone else off the top. Let's see, Hyatt was. He's getting a lot of steam. People are grabbing all the Hyatt right now. There goes my Mims. He obviously went early to this person. This guy's obviously following a lot of camp news. So JD is really in on the camp news right now. He's just grabbing it. Might have pissed him off though when I took Kirk Cousins, but he doesn't need it anyways. This is a good team. JD is, like I said, you can tell this guy has a really good team, knows what he's doing, really balanced overall. I don't think the Mitchell play was smart, but or was that good, I guess. Maybe not so smart, but we'll see. Yeah. Good thing to play the room. When you're in a smart draft, a lot of guys know that 2 quarterback advances really, really well. Therefore, they may not play for it. They might not go for that 3rd. But I want to advance to finals. I know finals is the way. At the end of the day, advancing round 1 is like really cute, and it's a nice way to get shots downfield and get your money back. But advancing out of playoffs, man, that's hard. That's where it gets really difficult. Could get this. Either way, I'm going to get value on my quarterback. I'm stoked. Unless both these guys take it, which I find it super unlikely. I'm going to dump the 2 tight ends, though. That's all I'm going for. Man, I will take me some free Derek Carr, 20 picks later. Play the room, get value, 2 whole rounds easily, and not on a bye weeks. So I'm going to get all the points. So we got to figure this out. Got to figure my last RB, which I've decided it's probably gonna be Gus. Could be Chuba. And I got to figure out my last two receivers because I want all the upside guys at this point. So I want the Terrace Marshalls. I want the Corey Davis. Mike Wilson's getting a lot of love right now too. Could get Mac Hollins, really stack up that game for that Cleveland, right? Like I'm playing week 17. I believe, Deshaun Watson versus Aaron Rodgers is the game of the century. Like it could be amazing for all I know. This guy's injured already. Like Denzel Mims. So we want to grab some of these upside guys. Tank Dell. People are, I don't know, Robinson. I don't know. It's gonna be yeah, Darius Slayton actually had some really good news. I think he's catching a lot of those teams. Let's see. Catching a lot of the receptions for this team. I think he's like team lead right now in the last few scrims. So he's behind Waller. Waller's been shown to be the one, but then it's like Darius Slayton's up there right now. Hyatt's at the bottom, but still pretty good. So it goes Darren Waller 19 catches, Saquon 15, Darius Slayton 14. So Darius Slayton's someone that could be very much underrated. So maybe I want to get some Darius Slayton here and go with my not so much Stafford, but bet my Giants bet a little harder. But this part, we're looking at 1 RB, 2 receivers. Technically, it's going to be even 3 RB team. I don't think it's that good, but he could. I'm going to take my Gus. Devontae Parker is also on here. Guy who got paid out this year. Just worst, though. Injury concerns possible. He's not my favorite guy. Richie James still on the board. No, this guy's falling the news. TB Bucks. Seventeenth Pick is a good pick. Like I said, he has the second most receptions on the team behind Saquon, and he's up there. He's way ahead of everybody else. It's not even close. It goes him, Campbell, and then just falls off a cliff to Hodgins, Bellinger, and Beasley, and so on. So I could take Gus right here. 1 quarterback play. This is very strong. I actually think this is not terrible by any means, but there's just so many diminishing returns. Someone's always going to ask me, it's like, well, why wouldn't you if no one else is really going to beat Patrick Mahomes? It's not true. People who do beat him weekly, it doesn't always add up. Well, Stafford's super cheap. That's money. But it's just a tough play. Running backs here scare me. I don't think this is a good running back core. I would have been pitching harder there. Kincaid to Kelsey is pretty cool. I think it's a smart play. Actually, people are going to hate that pick. They say you're spending too much. I think Kelsey could always be in your flex. You're basically putting your second tight end into the tight end spot. He gets 9 points and Kelsey gets like 16, 15, which is very plausible. Then that's fine. You're not hurting yourself in the long run. Tight ends are missed like crazy. So I've got 2 picks left. Got Terrence, Corey Davis. I might take Corey here. I might take Terrence here. Michael Wilson's getting a lot of love right now. Everyone's really hyping him up. It's a really bad team over there. And I think that wide receiver room is really open for Michael Wilson. He's Greg Dortch, Marquise Brown. It's a tough call. He's the only big body guy on that entire team. I do think a lot of red zone though goes straight to James Conner. I think James Conner is going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries for being on a really bad team. So this is 3-4-7. This is going to be 3-4-9 too. If my 3 wide receivers do not make it weekly, I'm going to be so pissed. Hawk, Dulce. I could grab a 3rd tight end. I think Conklin might be. No, it's on the board. Yeah, at this point, it doesn't really make much sense too. Terrence. Kind of like these one-ups. So everyone's going to wonder, it's like, why don't you just take the stacks all the way through, like Corey Davis and Mac Hollins? And because one, there's a lot of mouths to feed on every team. I don't want to eat into myself all the time. I think for the bottom end, I don't mind it because right now I have like the low jets. But I kind of like these one-offs. I call these like the top deck plays where what if he's just like the best player in his freaking team? right? And is being unique. Right? Maybe there's not a combo that has Terrence, but there might be a lot of combos that have Corey Davis, DPJ, Corey Davis, Amari Cooper, Corey Davis, Amari Cooper, Allen Lazard. Like those combos might be played, but Terrace probably isn't in those combos a lot. So it's taking these one-offs and setting yourself a little bit different, especially in an ambiguous room where this guy could take over. Like I don't expect Corey Davis to leapfrog Garrett Wilson, Allen Lazard all the way through the season, let alone survive a season. So I like to take one-offs. So Matt Collins off the board for me. I'm not taking Matt Collins here. I already have DJ Moore. It's fine. I think DJ Moore is just a cut above the rest. I'm sorry, not DJ Moore. But I think Drake London's above the rest, and that's fine. I'll need to get that stack going at Bijan. I think Bijan gets all the red zone. Got to paint yourself a nice little narrative there. Talking about the wide receiver 3 here. I already have 2 Cleveland's plus 1 bring back. I think that's fine. I could skip that. Plus the Jets defense versus Cleveland. That's interesting. Let's grab Mike Dubs. I want to get weird with it. I don't grab a lot of Michael Wilson, but let's do it anyways. He is the leading guy here. And Chuba fell too. That'd be a pretty solid pick. But 4 separates. Four running backs right now is good enough. Let's grab Mike Dubs. So we're at a 3, 4, 9, 2. Very much don't take a lot of 9 wide receivers. But if I'm going to dodge a round 1, round 2 wide receiver, and if I'm going to dodge another 3, around a couple other rounds, this is one of those teams where if my first 5 receivers and the first one, like pick 30 to 100 rather than pick 1 through pick 80, you have to grab these extra guys, I think. The diminishing returns is a real thing. I do truly believe that I will get DR'd on some of this, but I have to catch some upside. I don't have the most reliable. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you that I think KJ Osborne, DPJ, Terrace Marshall, Michael Wilson are very reliable people on my team. And even my top end of my top 2, outside of Cooper and DJ, like I can't sit here and tell you Brandon Cooks and Lazard are shoe-ins every week to be my wide receiver 3. Wide receivers have a hit rate miss probably like over 50% of the season. You got to get over 11 points. So I don't think that's always the case. I think Brandon Cook gets over 11 50% of the time. I think DJ Moore will get over 11 60, 70% of the time. Amari Cooper, if he's healthy enough, 60, 70% of the time. So I'm losing 30% on him, losing 30% on DJ Moore, I'm losing 50% on Brandon Cooks. So I really need these extra bodies and hope that I'm hitting a gold mine here. I'm hitting on guys that get over 11 consistently so that I'm not losing points. Because the hardest thing to do is to make up lost points. All right, so last guys all make their picks. It's going to kick me out. Let's go check our pick'ems. Sorry, our drafts completed. We're going to do a quick review on this team. This will be my 6 Pitbull, but I have a slow and another one I'm doing later today with another friend. So this will be the Golden Ticket Pitbull. Let's make this one really fast. All right. This is my own special thing. Put it in here. Nope, Golden Ticket Pitbull, huge. All right, so let's go do a quick review of this team. Got Kirk Cousins with his Osborne and TJ Hawk. Kind of wish I would have, maybe played it slower and got AJ Dillon instead of Pierce. It would have been really nice for that week 17 correlation. But that's okay. It didn't happen, but it's all right. Still stacked up. Stacking is more important than correlation. Overall, it limits my range. It says that I'm betting on a certain part of the draft, that I bet on this team to do what it's supposed to do over the 17-week span. I got, and also top side, like Hawkinson is probably the 2 on this team. I really do believe he's going to be the 2. He already been in the league. He's a first-round guy, just like Addison experience. He got instant click with Kirk. And I think Osborne is obviously going to be a contingent behind Addison or Hawk. So when these guys goes down, I have the backup. And that's not a bad play. And I think Osborne's at his going rate, mind you, like I said, I got this guy at 150. Like all he has to do to get value back from me is produce 2 or 3 games, right? Above 11 points. And I'll be fine. Got Russell Dulcich, no Mims, no Sutton. They all got taken. And obviously Judy got taken ahead of me. So kind of sucks, but I think Russ by himself has a lot of value, and I think Dulcich is up there. And I think a lot of people agree with me with Dulcich. He's been rising up the boards. And then Derek Carr with Michael Thomas, a little tight stack, nothing crazy here. I don't need to super stack everything. I do think you get burned on super stacks quite a bit. You're betting on one quarterback to make 3 guys relevant in one game, 4 guys. It's a tough bet. So running backs, super top heavy. I got Bijan, Saquon, Damian Pierce, and Gus Edwards. Bijan correlates against the DJ Moore, 2 best weapons on their team, facing each other week 17. Couldn't get that Van Jefferson, which kind of stings. Would have been nice, but Saquon's lonely. He's naked, but it's a one-off. We've seen one-offs win. Damian Pierce, one-off. Year 2 running back. I do think he's going to take a big step forward as long as he can stay healthy. Like, this guy's it. And then Gus, given with the J.K. Dobbins news, we know Gus is obviously the handcuff. He's going to be that committee guy. 40 yards on a touchdown, he shows up on boards. Like, I'm going to be stoked about that. Amari Cooper versus Alan Lazard for week 17 with DPJ. So these 2 plus the bring back Alan Lazard. Obviously, I was saying in the chat, I wanted in the stream, I wanted Aaron Rodgers. It just didn't come back, man. Some guy reached on over the head. Justin Fields literally made no sense to me. He didn't even grab any of these other players. Just what a pain. But you can't predict. You can't do anything about that. Brandon Cooks lonely by himself. Not a big deal. So I got a lot of one-off receivers. Got Brandon Cooks. Got Terrace Marshall, Michael Wilson. Like, that's okay. I'm expecting these guys to be deep threats, big body guys that can maybe get some red zone, and then a deep threat all-around player. Brandon Cooks has been pretty much elite his entire career, and he just played with junk last year with Davis Mills, and he did well with Mills the year prior. So this guy has not lost a step yet, that I believe. So I think he's gonna be fine. And then last but not least, Hawkinson, Dulcich. Just went over them earlier, but obviously elite tight end, and then probably an upper mid that's costing you not as much as someone like Pat Fireman with Njoku. Well, those guys are costing quite a bit. That extra 2-round price discount is always nice against those guys. Let's go over a couple of teams here. I want to look at some of my buddies. So first off, I'm going to look at Tim Roberts. Really good player in best ball. You can definitely find him. He goes by the same name. Where's Mr. Tim? There he is. He goes Lawrence Tua. I like this kind of combo because he did take it with Tyreek and Christian Kirk. Very vanilla, though, in the grand scheme of things. It's just going like, hey, got my guy, get the stack. Get my guy, get the stack. I think it's a little much, but let's go over the right way. So he takes Trevor Lawrence Tua. Trevor Lawrence is a little interesting. You could get drafts where he falls, and also in the sense like he's probably closer to Deshaun Watson than we want to admit, but his weapons are really good. But if you're taking Trevor Lawrence at 70, 69, you're basically saying that you can slide on your second quarterback. Like Trevor Lawrence to me is like a better pick with Daniel Jones, a better pick with Anthony Richardson, good pick with like Kirk Cousins, better pick with, like you don't really need to get your quarterbacks this early because you start to pay for it down the road. And as we get down this draft, you'll see. So he took Jacobs, he took Gibbs. He obviously got the discount on Gibbs, but his RBs kind of fall a little bit. He gets Damian Harris, Tank, Will Wilson. I would call this a weaker room because you have Gibbs is sharing a lot. He's an efficiency back. You're basically banking on Andrew Montgomery. Damian Harris, same thing. He's playing behind James Cook or together. This is normally not a bad build, but when we get to the receivers, you'll see this fall off hard. You got Tyreek Hill, Chris Olave, Christian Kirk, and then it just goes straight to Dotson, Bateman, then Mingo Hodgins. Like, I'm not too confident in these 2 guys down there. Obviously, it pays up a little bit for them, but kind of a tough call here. I could see if he didn't grab Tua here and grab like Daniel Jones 2 rounds later, that he could have really balanced out his wide receiver here at that 93 pick, right? He gets, Michael Thomas Bateman like this, and then he gets Derek Carr later. Like this looks like a lot better because when they're stacked up, it's betting more, and then you're not swimming here with like Mingo, I guess, against like I don't know, against Jacksonville. Like maybe you just dodge Hodgins. 4 tight end. So this has actually been a very popular build. I think this build's fun, but I don't think it's as good as people like to expect. So 4 tight end build is one of the highest advance rates in playoffs. Very bad in regular season. I was trying to figure out where his other players had went. So he has a 4-7. So it goes 2, 5, 7, 4. I guess if you're going this route, 2 quarterbacks, you could have gone this anyways, though, with any 2 quarterbacks. So for tight end is really strong in the sense the idea is one of these guys is going to get you 8 to 12 points, right? You have 4 outs to get 8 to 12 points in week 15, week 16. And you get to finals, these guys have to compete. Now, I think where this falls short is some of these guys just don't have outcomes of 15 points. Like, right? Like, no one's going to sit here and say, like, Mike Gesicki, Trey McBride, and like Jake Ferguson and Laporta are like weekly 15 guys. These guys might get it one time the entire season. You're looking like 8 to 10. So your upside's capped when you try to do this quantity over quality. That's why I like to take an elite and 2 mids, or elite mid and a low, or elite and 2 low guys, because it puts the combination of advancement with upside. This is just pure advancement, no upside. Like their best week is going to be way below Hawkinson, way below Goddard, probably we're equal to Goddard. It's middle week, but way below Kittle. If Kittle goes off and you're going there with Jake Ferguson with 9 points, like, you probably lost, right? This is a 2 top advancement, 1 advancement week 16, round 3. Like, it's just going to sting. So I don't think that's great. Although he did stack it for week 17, which is like really cool. I actually think that's a good play, but it's just a tough call here. And then I'm going to check my buddy TP Bucks, who's also really good at this game too. Great support of the show for my other shows. And then, yeah, so good player. He knows what he's doing. He went the 3-5-7-3 build, 3 quarterbacks, 5 RBs, 7 wide receivers, 3 tight ends. Sean Watson, Kenny Pickett, Sam. I actually said, this is what I was talking about earlier, like playing the way the game is meant to play. One, you're playing best ball, so best guy always makes on the top. And then to top it off, like, he knows 3 quarterbacks are high advancement in playoffs. Maybe not the Greg and regular season, but he invested in like Deshaun. He paid a premium on a quarterback. And I would say any tier from Deshaun up is a premium quarterback play. So grabbing like a second elite can be a toss-up, or like a second mid. That's basically a 2 quarterback build. It's just a tough call, but this was a great play. He's just taking the shots down the road. Eckler, Ramondre, Brian Robinson, Jalen Warren, Deontay Foreman. Perfect balance at RB. 2 up top, 3 mids. One of his mids is a guy that's likely to 15, 20 touches. Warren, as a obviously upside scale kind of player, direct handcuff, Najee, that's fine. Deontay Foreman currently splitting. Like, these are some value plays, guys that I like a lot, but he has 3 workhorses, right? Eckler, Ramondre, Bryant. Like, this is great, and he got good value. Garrett Wilson, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson. So he gets that stack for Deontay Johnson. He's got that stack for Terry McLaurin. Week 17 bring back with the Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore. Like, I'm telling you guys right now, like, T-Bucks is really good. He knows what he's doing. Donnell Mooney, the wide receiver 2 for his team. A little bit of a one-off, but like I said, these one-offs are perfect. I was actually very eyeing Darnell Mooney in my draft, but I just couldn't do it. And then Darius Slayton, following camp news, knows that he's probably the wide receiver 1 on this team, maybe wide receiver 2 for his team that's outside of Darren Waller. Good value, get your reach, not a big deal. Njoku, Irv Smith, Noah Fant. So he took 1 semi-elite tight end. I would say a mid-elite. So just a mid tight end. Irv Smith, not my biggest fan, but Irv Smith with upside play, Noah Fant. 3 tight ends. He's playing. I might have upside 1 week with Njoku, and then some advancement assistance with Irv Smith, Noah Fant. Great play. 3-5-7-3. Some people are going to find these very boring builds. If you build them correctly, though, so good. Like, this is the type of teams I like make finals. This actually had one of the better advancements in playoffs. People did not know that. They thought it was just 2 quarterback buildings. No, 2 quarterback teams got crushed a lot last year in those situations. And even the winning team, even though the 3rd quarterback didn't do anything, it's just that it could have, right? So 3-5-7-3, boring to a lot of people, very strong build. When you build it like this, it's great. I mean, I'm not a Marquise Brown guy, but I'm not TV Bucks. I'm not sitting there telling you like what his rankings are. But if he has them up there, 5 receivers in the first 80 picks, good play, good balance. This is the kind of team you want to build. That being said, let's close this out. Get this out of here. Close the stream. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me for one other episode of the Golden Ticket. Right, hanging out here, doing drafts, trying to keep the show going, and teach you guys how to do best ball. There's a lot of money to be made when you play this game correctly. There's a lot of information to intake. Follow my show here. Follow my show on the road to 150. I do it every 2 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Follow my articles at Fantasy Six Pack. My goal is to help people win. right? And I've done pretty well. I've made multiple finals. I have a 30+% advance rate over 700 teams. That's as as good of a number anyone could possibly have. And I had one of the highest advance rates in Best Ball Mania last year. Got crushed in the final semifinals, but I could have easily made it. I was off by a couple points. And the same thing for Puppy 3 and 2 and 1. So if you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. Join me for another episode. I'm going to try to knock out some more drafts. The goal this year is to win one of these big boys, and I'm already at 550 drafts, going for 600. So see you guys later, and have a good one.